Between us, Neil and I have helped hundreds of companies set up in the UK, and given there are hundreds of things that you need to do in the early stages of setting up a business, many of which you'll know some things about, others which you'll know nothing about. One of the things we want to do today is run through one of the practical things that you'll need to get done after setting up your company. And one of those things is every 12 months is to file a confirmation statement. And as we go through that, we'll talk through what a confirmation statement is, when you need to file it, who's responsible for filing it and the consequences of not doing so, how much it costs. So without further ado, let's get cracking and get on with it. Welcome back to the Basics of Business channel, everybody. And before we quickly just log on and get filing a confirmation statement, Neil, when it comes to the legal aspects, particularly, people often get hesitant and confused and sometimes fearful about them. So before we tackle the confirmation statement online, firstly, just what is it?
So the confirmation statement is that annually, or at least annually, you can file them more frequently, but at least annually, the directors must confirm at Companies House that certain information, so the registered office, whether the company is a private company, public company, who are the directors of the company, the share capital and shareholders of the company, all of that has to be confirmed. It's a very simple process, but it does have to be done, whether the company is active, dormant, or whatever.
So it's a snapshot, like a photograph at that period of time of who's involved in the company, etc. And when do you need to do it?
You have to do it every 12 months. So if you form the company on the 1st of January, they would want a confirmation statement every 1st of January.
And who's responsible for doing it?
So it's the directors who are ultimately responsible for everything to do with the company. So it'll be on them to actually file it. And as I say, it will be a breach of the Companies Act if you haven't done it. Companies House can strike the company off because it's not keeping up to date with its filing requirements. But rarely, if ever, do you see that happening. If you don't file accounts, then you're more likely to get struck off. But not filing a confirmation statement or not filing it on time, there's no real financial penalty for doing so.
But it's more a sign of good housekeeping, as in you're on top of you're running your company, you know what to do for just probably outside investors. If you're looking to take an investment or have it, you're on top of it and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no financial penalty in as much as getting fined, but it will potentially impact your financial credit rating for your company. So, if you're trying to get an overdraft or do anything with the bank or debt or external investors, if your accounts are late, if your confirmation statement is late, they're all going to be black marks against the company when it's looking at credit ratings and things like that.
So let's log on to Companies House and get cracking with filing one of our own. Okay, so we're going to log into Companies House here and do it through Companies House. And we're going to the website here, which we'll put a link in the description, and just start now. So typically with web filing, you'll have had your account previously, particularly if you formed your company through Companies House originally. But if you haven't, you can just register with web filing and begin from that perspective. For web filing is something typically if you formed your company through Companies House, you'll have already registered for and you'll have your authentication code. As we've seen there, if you don't have your authentication code, and we've talked about previously, you can request it again from Companies House. The problem you'll have is it typically takes 5 to 7 days to come through. So it's certainly something to hang on to originally. However, if you do need it, then it will take 5 to 7 days. If that takes you over the filing date, which we'll highlight there, don't worry that you're not going to go to jail or anything. No matter what, things will come through. We will file it late, but typically it'll be all right if you're a week or two late, and on almost longer on many occasions. But hang on to that authentication code. You'll need it for web filing. And as you see there, we don't actually need to file a confirmation statement until the 6th of April 2024. We're going to do it here just to give you some practical help. If you do need to file yours before then, But there are examples of if you sign up to Managee Reminders, again, which we'll highlight here, is you'll get an email reminder as the time comes due when you're to file your confirmation statement, which is just a helpful thing that you can do through e-filing. If your lawyers or your accountants are doing this for you, then they'll typically take care of this. Formation agents are another group who can help you file your confirmation statement, and they'll typically charge you to do that. A variety of costs. I think it can be between sort of £30 to £100 if it needs to be filed urgently. But as I say, that manage email reminders is a simple way for Companies House to remind you of when it's due. As I say, you can file it. Has to be at least once every 12 months. You can file it every day if you wanted to, if you chose to for some bizarre reason. As I say, we can file ours now, even though it's not due. So let's just do that now to show you how it works. And we'll just click on Start. So again, it's helpful to remind us that we're not due to file a confirmation statement. We're going to do that now, as I say, for this video. And it will just ask you a series of questions of these that you just need to confirm that the information they have just now is correct. If it's not, then you'll have to go and file different forms. For example, like there'll be change of names, etc., or change of directors. So you'd go back. And I think if you go to the company overview, if we just go back actually to the company overview, just on the left hand side there. So you'll see at the top right hand corner there, all forms. So if there's something that you haven't done, that in terms of the information is not right as it stands just now, that you're going to confirm the confirmation statement, you can use these forms. So for example, if we expand directors and secretaries there, you can form an APO1. If a director has been appointed, you should, I think it's within 2 weeks or something like that.
I think something like that.
To file it. But if you haven't done it, you can do it at this stage or whatever. There'll be warnings saying you should have done it beforehand. But before you get to the confirmation statement, if there are stuff that you haven't done, then these are where all the forms are, where you can file different things, whether it's directors, change of secretaries, etc., new shareholders, changes to share capital. So you can do all that through e-filing. And again, if anything is useful for us to run through as an example of these, then let us know that in the comments. But as I say, confirmation statement is the one we're going to do today. And click on there, back to that screen, and start.
So the first question is, are you any of your shares trading on a market? So yeah, that's obviously no for us. It's a private company, not on any stock exchange. So you then have the different areas that it's asking you to confirm. So is the registered office correct? Are the officers the correct details? So this is where you're just going through and checking that everything that's listed is still up to date and right. And that's where, as Graham said, if you find something that's not correct, you can then complete the other forms there. So everything on there is as it should be. So we're going to say that I confirm that everything is correct. You click on that and go ready to hit submit. It then says, yeah, but you've got to make the payment. We don't have a Companies House account, so we have to pay by card. So continue. We're going to pay by credit or debit card, continue. And then you just complete the card details. And that is as easy as it is. It's done. It's been filed. So although it can seem, maybe not daunting isn't the right word, but if you've not done it before and you don't quite know what it is and you don't know what you're going to, necessarily what questions you're going to be asked, it's, you know, but as you can see, it's very easy. All the information is already there, so they're pre-populating it. You're really, in most cases, you are just going to be confirming that nothing has changed.
But it's a good example of if you keep stuff up to date as you go through the year. And I think because it's every year, and particularly sometimes if people have had other people doing it, whether that's a formation agent or a lawyer or an accountant, you sort of forget 2 or 3 years later, you forget how to do it and what's involved. But as long as things have been kept up to date, like who are the directors, who are the shareholders, who are the PSCs, it is a very straightforward process. There'll be an email confirmation, typically that it's been done and it's been successfully filed. And that is it. So that's it for this practical demonstration of filing a confirmation statement. As ever, we wish you every success with your business journey. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Just tap on one of those boxes on the screen and we'll see you over in another one.